All right, all right. How about it, Delco? How about a warm hand for our guests? Mike Costanza, anybody play ball against them here locally?
I got one right there.
You got somebody?
There you go. Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Well, we're back here for our monthly. I've been talking with Mike for a while now, and I thought this whole Phillies fever thing was perfect timing for us. He just said to me a couple minutes ago he didn't miss a playoff game.
No.
So he's he ex-player, and he's reeled back in as well. So what do we think about our Phillies? We're all pretty excited still, right?
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. That was an awesome season.
Great season. Great season. Again, welcome to Hanrahan's Irish Pub for our monthly. We'll be here again. You okay back there?
He's just fist pumping you.
It's my one-man fan club.
He really likes you.
He does. He does. But anyway, great raffle prizes tonight. Come check them out. 2 free tickets for everybody. You can buy extras. They're $1 a piece. We're working for some, well, I'm hoping to do something next month with Bob Kelly from Fox 29 and Kelly's Kids. So I'll have more on that as the month comes true. But what is our date? December 21st?
21st.
So we'll be back here with Mickey Morandini. So we're gonna keep this Phillies fever thing going. But come on up, check out the raffles. Emily and Henry have your tickets. If you haven't already got them, dig in. They're $1 a piece. The money goes to charity. So we appreciate all that you guys do. Where are we at?
Just we'll jump right in with Mike here. So, what was it like being drafted by the hometown team?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, you said no hard question.
Yeah, I said no hard question. So it was a whirlwind. You know, you grow up in Delaware County, rooting for the Phillies, go to the vet. Dad used to take to about 20 games, get me a hat every time and a pretzel. I was the happiest kid on earth. And then, you know, you go through the ranks and playing college, and then you have a chance to get drafted. And just so happened the Phillies picked me, and it was a dream come true. I mean, they made a really, really big deal about it, and they picked me, and I really can't script it better than it went, and really, really lucky that it went that way. Just kind of wish I stuck around for a little bit, but I'm sure that's a question coming up, and the elephant in the room.
Well, let's go back because you played local ball, high school at Carroll. Right, and you were probably heavily recruited, I would think, at Coastal.
Yep.
Or what were there choices?
Yeah, I had a bunch of choices. Back then, though, it's not like today. You kind of sat around your home phone, and July 1st rolls around. I was just telling the story to somebody the other day, and you answered there was no social media, there was no perfect game, no profiles to where you kind of knew where you stood until July 1st and your phone rings. You can kind of tell when you're at these showcases when there's nobody there or 50 people there. So I did a bunch of different showcases down south because I kind of wanted to go play down south. And Coastal Carolina, I walked on campus. The coach was amazing. He's still there. National champs in 2016. Give a shout out to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I a lot of southern schools. I took 5 visits to North Carolina, South Carolina, Coastal, but narrowed down. They let me pitch and play a position down there, which was big. And obviously, money comes into play when you're going to college, and
Sure.
You know, full ride speaks length. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So you played at Coastal, and were pretty good, right?
Yeah,
you were pretty good.
Yeah.
You were heavily recruited by the pros, right? Anybody besides the Phillies?
Yeah, so I actually had a couple pre-draft deals with the Red Sox and the Cincinnati Reds, which I eventually ended up playing for. They were more interested, I thought, at the time. And then the pre-draft deal with the Red Sox, Jacoby Ellsbury fell to their spot, so they took him. And then the Reds took a guy by the name of Jay Bruce, which worked out pretty well for them and was a really good teammate of mine. And then Phillies came up, and they were in the slot for third baseman, and that was a heavy draft for third baseman. So I was the 5th third baseman picked, and the first 4 were picked in the first 6 picks. So I knew I was coming up on the next one, but a ton of pitchers went and a ton of outfielders went. So I very lucky that I landed in that slot.
Did you know that night, or had the Phillies contacted you prior to that, or?
No, it was different back then because of dial-up internet, and
Right.
it was you were listening on like AOL, right? Dial-up, and if somebody rang the phone and the Phillies called, it knocked us off, and we got back on. And this is 2005, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I actually went upstairs, and my dad's like, yeah, Roy Tanner, who the scout of the Phillies down in South Carolina at Coastal, called and said, hey, we're going to pick you with the next pick. And it happened. So we watched or listened to the computer.
Very cool.
Makes me feel really, really old. I know I'm getting a little bright. I'm 39.
You're not that old.
Unbelievable.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Too funny. And then the whole draft experience, Philly, mom, dad, the family,
Yeah.
That had to be very cool.
So I got drafted. It was probably 11, 15. And they asked me to go do a press conference down at the stadium. And they were like, can you get here by 1? I'm like, sure. Well, what am I going to say no?
Right.
And so getting ready, had a khakis and a button down. And I'm walking out the door, and my mom's like, hey, might want to bring this. And she had the jacket that I was brought home with from the hospital when I was born. It was a Phillies jacket. So I took that and got on stage. There was probably 100 people there in the media room. I got on there and sounded like shotguns with the cameras. And I said, before everybody, my personality, I just kind of took the microphone and said, before I start, I just wanted to say I don't think I fit in this anymore. And we got a big kick out of it and went from there. The Phillies, it was 5 days of just like me going everywhere, and made a really huge deal about it. And met Mr. Montgomery at the time, which was awesome. And they just rolled out the red carpet. And like I said, I was telling you before, John Brazier, who's good friends of mine now, he really embraced the whole city and the draft pick and everything, and took me around and met really, really awesome people.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's got to be a dream come true.
It was, and
it's
actually very surreal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's for sure.
So from there, kind of walk us through your, where did you start in the minors? How did that all evolve to, take it, walk us through it.
So after I did the press conference, we came back to the house, and there was like 60 people there, and Roy Tanner and John Castleberry and Mike Arbuckle came back to the house so we can negotiate a deal. And we worked on a deal till like 3 a.m. And I made a really big point at my press conference, which I didn't say because it was leveraged against me, that I didn't want to pull a JD Drew and not sign. So I signed quick and did the 5 days in Philly, and then went to Batavia, New York for, I think I played like 60 games there. And at the time that was a short season, low A.
Mm-hmm.
Did okay there, and then went to spring training the next year, skipped over Lakewood and went straight to Clearwater and made the all-star team there, and went to Reading, which was one of the best summers playing in my baseball career.
All your family and friends could come sponge tickets off of you.
Yeah, they sponged them.
Yeah.
What's funny is I always say, if I just didn't do as good, I wouldn't have been traded. So if I just hit 15 home runs and just kind of flew under the radar, maybe I would have been here. But
So how long did you play in Reading?
I played all of 2007 in Reading.
Okay,
Yep. And then that off season is when I was traded.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, went to the Arizona
Fall league. Yep. I actually was traded when I was in the fall league with like 7 days left.
Yeah, we were talking about that trade today. That was a pretty big deal,
Right.
you know, at
Yeah,
the
for you
time.
guys. For the Phillies at the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it worked though. I was in Arizona, which has a time difference, and I got a call. It was like 9 o'clock there, so 11, 12 here. And I was like, why is Ruben calling me? Ruben tomorrow. And I was like, just answer it. And I was out with like Greg Golston, Lou Morrison, all the guys that were playing with me in the fall league. And I got off the phone. I was like, I just got traded. They're like, what? I'm not exaggerating. 30 seconds later, it was on the bottom line. So thank God I answered. If not, I would have been just finding out from breaking news. Yeah. Not to date myself again, but this is before social media.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, that's crazy.
I didn't. Yeah. And then the fall league, and then I was traded again 30 days later to Baltimore.
Yeah. So, we'll get our trivia question in.
Yeah, before
Did I blow it? I'm gonna blow it.
before he gives them all away.
Before he gives them all away, because I had 8 of them, but now we're down to about 4. So
He blew the first one.
he
Coastal
did.
Carolina.
Exactly.
Did it? All right, I got a good one.
You were
What the mascot is?
Ooh, Carolina is the,
Coastal Carolina mascot.
Anybody?
Ooh, there we
There
go.
you
Got
go.
Hanrahan.
Chandelier?
Yes.
I don't know if that's acceptable.
You're,
I don't know, it's your question.
Your questions.
Well, it's very close, but it's a
Oh.
Chanticleer. I think we give it to him.
All right.
Lauren,
Yeah, you can ask somebody else.
Well, we already gave you the answer out. So
He gets it.
you said give it to him?
Yeah, we'll give it to him. All right, so in that trade that we traded Mike away, who did we get back in that trade?
Ooh, arms up. We need the full trade. We need every.
There you go. There you go. Very good. With them. Exactly. Very good. Very good
There
trade.
you go. How are the wings?
How
How
are
are
the
the
wings?
wings?
Wings
The
good? Chicken
Tenders.
tenders.
Perfect.
Did you guys see the Jason Kelsey thing? That he buried boneless buffalo wings?
No,
Yeah, you
I
did.
kind of agree with him.
I did not.
Yeah, you did.
He said they're not boneless wings, they're just chicken tenders with sauce on them. So
It's
it's a big
true.
thing going around right now.
Well, there goes our shot at getting a sponsor with Buffalo Wild Wings. We're having a great night.
Sorry.
All right, and then as you were talking about your good year you had in Reading, how many home runs did Mike have in that year?
13.
No.
I think I would still be playing with the Phillies if I had 13.
13, got 15, I went 25.
No, 25. No, 25 is not correct. But oh, I know he is. I see him. He was going to get called
Guy
in.
in the back.
26?
26 is not correct either. We're getting closer.
Anthony Dunn, you have been disqualified for the night. For the night.
See,
27?
27 is correct. Yes, 27 is correct. Oh yeah. So yeah. So what was fun about playing in Reading? That, it's a great ballpark and.
The fans are awesome.
Right.
I mean, minor leagues, and you're getting 7,000 to 10,000 fans a day. They're loyal. They know baseball, and it was really cool. I lived in Glen Mills and got to stay at home.
Right.
So, the reason it's called Baseball Town holds true because that place is they love baseball.
Yes.
And they show up every night, whether it's opening day and it's 25 degrees or 110 in August. So
Yeah, exactly.
they do a really good job up there, and I've always loved going back there.
Right.
Great segue. Hand the mic to Anthony Pignetti. He can give us an update on building a new player's. What? Go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the Major League Baseball started said each team has to do a renovation project at every level, no matter what the level. So there's 120 teams. I think we were the first team to get the full funding. So right now they're about to build a 2-story building. The bottom floor will be expanded to clubhouses, female training rooms, locker rooms, meditation rooms, things that they never had back in the day that now is sort of required throughout baseball.
Did you say a meditation room?
Yeah, meditation room, a lot of rooms like that. And then the second floor is actually nice to be a sort of like an open air ballroom, so we got 500 to 600 people for a wedding or year-round event. But the entire project, the building itself will be ready for 2023, but the project itself will be finished for 2024. So it's going to help create a lot of revenue, and then the players' facilities, from the photos I've seen, it's going to be amazing. It's going to look like you're a college football player in Alabama. It's pretty state of the art. The players are very interested in investing in these guys and see them now. I'm sure they did before, but now they see them really much as an investment. So they're spending a lot of money for that.
Awesome. So I'll be able to sell my sponsorship tickets instead of give them away this year?
And maybe wait a year or two.
Come on, Isaac, you gotta help me push them, right? Thank you.
Absolutely.
He is a huge fan of this.
He's a huge fan. Did you hear that? You're a huge fan.
You're a huge fan of it. I dig it.
So what was it like playing in baseball town as a baseball fan growing up to play on the same field with Mike Schmidt and Larry Boa?
It was all, yeah. After hearing all the renovations, I want to go back.
You want to go back?
Yeah. No, it has that homey feel. It's minor league baseball.
I'll leave you tickets.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Carl. It has a homey feel, and you don't get that anywhere else.
Right.
You play in hundreds of minor league stadiums, and just not. For it to be your home field, it's even better.
Right. Exactly.
It's really it's a different experience. Even away teams, they were always like coming there and playing because it's always better playing in front of more fans.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at the playoffs, this year and how much that helped the team, with the crowd, and it's amazing.
That's a different breed of home field advantage, though. I was lucky enough to go to a bunch of games down there for NLCS and the World Series, and I've never heard a stadium like that ever.
Yeah, they said they heard it 2 miles away.
Yeah, it was shaking the water bottles off the carts in the middle of the. You were there, right?
I was there.
Yeah. That team made me like baseball again, so it was really, really cool to go down there again.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what you've said that, and you said no easy questions, but I
said no
want to.
hard
Oh,
questions.
sorry, sorry. So let's dig into this. So the game, you end up retiring, I assume.
Yeah, if you want to call it that. I stopped playing due to injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, where does that go, like inside your head? Because you still can play, you can still put the uniform on, you can still do a lot of the same things,
Mhm.
but you know that, the game has
Right.
moved on.
I got to play 11 years
right.
professionally, so I always say to everybody, and I have a 12-year-old son, I said, like, I left the game where I felt like I had nothing left. I had 2 back surgeries and then a knee surgery, and that's kind of it. And
Right.
at 31, 32 years old, you're washed up according to
Right.
baseball. So
Yeah.
I don't think baseball owed me anything. I definitely don't owe it anything in my mind.
Gotcha.
And I left on good terms and made unbelievable friends and lifetime friends throughout it, and from across the world. So, do I miss it? I miss the locker room and the camaraderie.
Mhm.
I do not miss playing and showing up at 1:00. And people don't realize you get there at 1 and you're not out of there till 12 o'clock at night, and prep for batting practice, you prep for the cage inside, and there's a bunch of stuff that you do that people don't realize that you do before a game. So
Yeah, it's just not 7 o'clock, show up and play.
no, yeah, it's never like that.
Right.
So, and once you get older, you have to go even earlier to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
To get ready. So
Now, you probably are right there on the edge, I guess, maybe of the analytics. Were they just coming in towards the end of your
yeah,
playing time?
I miss my calling. Strike out a lot, hit home runs, and that's it. I'd be great in it right now. They would love me.
So what do you think of how analytics is?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
Remember, no hard questions.
No,
I
got a guy that-
don't like the shift. I'll just be straight
Right.
up. I'm not a
Thank
fan
you,
of
that's
it.
one.
I don't like. I like the personal, like how the game. It shouldn't be like in a computer.
Right.
Kind of like how the manager Robbie Thompson did it this year, like field.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's supposed to be done. That's why they were successful. He let the guys play and had the young guys creating energy for the older guys, which is
Right.
you see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of teams are successful with it, but as kind of like when I played, there was none of it. So I'm accustomed to. They did shifting, but it wasn't anything like it is now.
Right, exactly.
And I don't know. There's a human element that has to stay in the game. It's
Right.
the greatest pastime in sports
Plus it
for
took
a reason.
Right. Plus, it took a lot of the athleticism away from the guys. Or at least not so much taken away, but you don't see it.
Right.
What the players have that. Oh well, the ball's hit right to them; they don't have to move. But
Right.
Whoever you might want to say,
You do see-
Grayson Stott or
it's-
whoever would be able to reach and get that ball.
Right.
Where
That's why I I really started enjoying watching it because in the playoffs, you
Mhm.
kind of get away from it.
Yeah.
And you're getting matchups and you're getting lefty on lefty. And because I was a left-handed hitter, and that's the kind of things in the playoffs that you get that you don't see during the regular season because it's 162 games and now you're in the playoffs. And the pitch count thing drives me nuts
Right.
because I actually pitched in college, and I was telling Mike my arm never hurt because I just kept throwing and throwing and throwing. So
Right.
that's the things that I don't necessarily like, but you're getting longer careers out of guys too.
Yeah.
Like Verlander's how old? He's my age. He's
He's
still,
old. He's older.
guy's still dealing.
Yeah. No, he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's also come off of a lot of surgery.
Right.
You're getting a lot of more injuries though. They're playing a little bit longer when they get the injuries because they're max effort guys now.
Exactly.
Throwing as hard as they can, and it's a different game, but and it affects the batters because you got guys coming out. You're not facing a pitcher for the fourth time,
Right.
in a game.
Even the third time.
Right.
during the regular
You
season,
never
it's
see it a
crazy.
third time, right? And where that's you got another guy coming out throwing 100 miles an hour,
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a different ball game.
I just don't. I don't like the feel of it.
Mhm.
That's why the playoffs were so awesome for me to watch because it was kind of old school baseball. And the Phillies team is built for that.
Yep, exactly.
That's their mentality, and it starts with Harper and goes all the way down. So
Yep.
that's why I don't like it.
Exactly. That's for sure.
There's certain parts where you should absolutely use it, and then in-game decisions, like your manager should be
Right. Because it
well equipped
messes
to
with
do
their
it like Robbie Thompson was.
Right. Yeah, they're
He's
good
been watching the game for how long?
Right.
And now he had an opportunity, and he just went on feeling, which was pretty amazing.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Questions? Anybody? Raise your hand. We'll get the mic to you.
I have a question. How is that guy not up for Coach of the Year?
He ended up
Manager of the
fifth.
Year?
He finished fifth.
Is that that's a joke?
It is an absolute joke.
Not to be a homer, but
Well, you're coming out of here, what do you think of analytics? I played and coached the game when I was younger, a little older, and we just played. Now analytics is such a big part, not on baseball, but in sports. Do you think that's good or bad? Is there is there any good or bad decided? Instead of just playing, when I was young, we just played a game, you know? We went out and, you know, we didn't have, you didn't have computers, we just played a
Right.
game. Do you think that's good or bad, help sports or?
Yeah, like
Baseball.
like I just said, I mean, I think it takes the human element out of the game a little bit, but you can, now that technology is better, you should use it to a certain degree, but just like in the playoffs, there's more human element and feel opposed to a computer telling you where and who to pitch here and there. So you have
Just
to,
one last question, I know we talked about Rob Thompson, he did on people's job, but do you think he outbumped himself with, when he, removed Wheeler in the fifth inning and put Alvarado in, do you think that was, you know, the lot of time you guys, do you think that was, in your opinion, baseball, a good move or?
your great question. I'm the wrong guy to ask because if that's what he's feeling in the moment, that's what he should have done. I don't go back and look and say Monday morning quarterback, he should have done this, he should have done that. He had done the same thing consistently, and baseball, the power of consistency is huge. So that's what the game plan was. That's in that position how he felt. I kind of saw it coming, and kudos to him for sticking with it. And they might have had a conversation that we don't know about. That's a lot that goes on. You know, I got 15 pitches left in my tank, and I'm going to give it 100%. And he was throwing 95 miles an hour because that's all he had left.
Right.
And he had an arm injury. He missed a month. So you have to factor all that stuff in. But having played, I don't play Monday morning quarterback because that's what you don't do and don't like being done to you. So I personally thought he could not have managed any better.
No, exactly. You know, I mean,
Great question.
yeah, you could have left Wheeler in there. Wheeler could have given up the home run, and then you're second guessing it.
Right.
Why did what you did all your playoffs?
And then he gets compared to Grady Little, leaving Pedro Martinez.
Right.
I mean, it's just like
yeah.
never ending media
Exactly. And I
nonsense.
agree. You don't second guess it.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. You live with it.
You can't.
With the results.
He changed the complete makeup of a team in 3 months.
Yeah.
Which is
and like you
never
said,
been done.
you know, they end up being fifth in the National League. I mean, it's, you know, Buck Showalter took a team that should have been in first place and ran them into second place.
There was a time in September I was like, are these guys going to blow it? And then he stuck with his game plan and continued it through the playoffs, and that's why they were successful.
So from a player's perspective, put your uniform back on, get in the clubhouse of the Phillies, and you know they're just not, what was it, 50 games into the season. They didn't respond to Joe Girardi. You know, the speculation was, you know, that he would replace him. They weren't quite sure when, and then all of a sudden it happens.
Right.
You know, is that something? And it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
You know, but do you think, you know, some of the veteran guys may have pushed, you know, for that change? You know, was there something there that Joe wasn't doing versus what Thompson, you know, was able to get out of them?
Yeah, I mean, Joe Girardi is an old school coach. He has his binder. He's analytical, but paper, right? Not a computer. So if it's 3-2, 2 outs, this is what we're doing. That's what Joe does. Opposed to Robbie Thompson, wants young guys, you know, build them up. He was a minor league coordinator for a while. He understands that portion of it. He knows that they bring energy. Mm-hmm. And look what you have now. You have a couple guys now that are going to be impactful players. They have a World Series appearance under their belt, and that's how you build things. But Robbie Thompson also gave guys opportunities that wouldn't have opportunities from Joe Girardi, and I think that injects energy and positivity. And like I said before, the power of consistency in baseball is incredible.
Yeah, that's huge.
I don't know if general managers would have gotten an inkling if they asked, stuff like that, but you could just read body language the day he got fired to 2 weeks after, once the dust clears and everything. So
Sure.
that's the long, short answer.
Oh, yeah.
Well, same thing, at the trade deadline, with Dombrowski, he goes out and makes the best possible moves he can, you know what I mean, to bring in a couple of guys that, obviously they helped as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sosa was a nice little defensive third baseman,
Absolutely.
right? Filled in shortstop, second base, wherever they put him,
Right.
Marsh out in center field. How many center fielders have we gone through in this 5-year span?
Yeah.
Just this year alone, it was like 8.
And Philly's a different vibe. You have to get guys that can play here.
Yep.
There's no other city, I don't care what anybody says. There's no city like this. You have to get guys like him that embrace the city, like Bryce Harper, Jason Kelsey. That's how you build things here, and why you want people to stay.
Well, that's a great segue because, Philly sports is, like you said, it's built on, right? It's built on character. You take a Kelsey, you take a Harper, the Sixers, they're trying to find that guy, but the Flyers, they're in a rebuilding mode. But, you look at the town itself, the way that all of the players rallied, the teams rallied.
You can see them showing up at each other's games.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the vibe. You have to be different to play here, and I think it's really cool watching.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's,
James Harden's there, and then Slay's back at the Sixers game, and
Yep.
all that stuff. That's it's really fun to see.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
Have-
winning's fun.
Having a World Series brings a lot of
Sure.
good things,
Yeah.
good vibes, and a lot of people. It's good for the city, good for surrounding towns. So it was pretty cool to see.
Well, they brought half of that 08 team back.
I
You know
know.
what
I was telling my fiance, they had a picture and they posted it, and she showed me. I said I should just sit in the back, just like have my hands folded, because I was there with them, and I was not on the team, so I should have just been in the background pouting. So that was a funny thing.
All right, let's move on. Lauren, any feedback from our Facebook world? Things are quiet. How about you guys? Questions, comments? There you
All right.
go.
We got some hands
This ought to be good.
right here. You can't see them.
Oh, Shawnee.
Hey, Mike, just a question. I'm interested in guys, when their development and things like that. Like, at what point in your life did you know, or did somebody say to you, you have a really good shot to be a Major League Baseball player? Or when did you know that? I'm going to do this.
Yeah, awesome question. When I grew up in Springfield and playing, and when I was playing against kids my age, I was good. And then high school was when you really see if you can get to the next level, which is huge, because Division I, any division college playing there is difficult to do. And I started getting recruited, and I was telling one of the guys in the back over there, I had my good friend Jerry Oakes played right before me at Carroll, and he was getting interest from the scouts. So when they would come to his game, they would see me. So it kind of was like a trickle effect. And he got drafted out of Carroll by the Brewers in the 7th round. And that really was a big stepping stone for me, because they all got to see me as a freshman and sophomore, and then kind of came senior year, and I didn't get drafted out of high school, but with pro scouts comes college scouts, and my sophomore year is when I started getting a lot of attention from outside Delaware County and state newspaper accolades and stuff like that. But having scouts and colleges come to your high school, it's different than going to a showcase, like a Perfect Game showcase, and going and no one knows if they're there to see them and stuff like that. Like, I knew at Carroll they were there because you know, Jerry was good and then I was good, and that's what they're there for. So that's probably to answer your question, like freshman, sophomore year in high school, I know I had a shot at playing in college at a high level.
Lauren?
Got one more?
You played in the World Baseball Classic a couple times.
Yes.
Do you ever see the Baseball Classic becoming the level of like the World Cup that's starting next week?
I do. So I played twice, and I played in the second and third World Baseball Classics, and they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And I don't know, soccer, it's different, but when we played, it was getting really a lot of attention. And then, so that was in 2009. And then in 2013, there was quadruple the amount of attention. And now you see it on every news station when you're watching sports. They're doing more marketing and stuff. So, but Major League, it's about the almighty dollar, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
sponsoring and stuff like that. It's a fact. So the more money that it generates, the more more popular it's going to be. But I don't know if it's ever going to get to the World Cup of soccer, because that's a different animal. But I do see it. It's going to be like the Olympics for baseball. I do see that happening. If it's not now.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my buddy on the phone today. He's like, "Have you seen these rosters?" I'm like,
Yeah.
How
That's how you know
are you
it.
going to win?
Right.
So that's another thing too, just like kind of like bringing Harper to Philly. If you get guys like this on your roster and you have Harper, Trout, and Mookie Betts in your outfield, people are going to watch.
Right.
So the more people to watch, the more revenues generated. That's how it'll be bigger. But yeah, it's gonna be big.
Yeah, that's how
It's
you can
already
tell.
big.
Right. That's how you can tell when you see all just look
I'll
at
tell
the
you what, that
United
was-
States team.
That was probably my favorite baseball experience. It was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
We'll get into that right after this trivia question.
trivia.
Question from the audience, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Mike, what was your favorite stop in the minor leagues when you played?
Favorite stop in minor leagues. Besides Reading, because that was my home field. Louisville, Kentucky. I played there for a couple years. Yeah, that's probably second. Reading, then Louisville, and then. That's a good question. Pawtucket was awesome because Providence. I'm Italian, so I like food. They have really good food on Federal Hill. That's where you stay. So. And Arizona's pretty awesome too. I don't know. That's a good question. Playing wise, Reading's the best minor league experience. And then AAA is, all the stadiums are big, but Louisville's really cool with how they have that set up all downtown.
What do you got, John?
All right. So in 2009 and 2013, which team did Mike play for in the World Classic?
You can't be Italian to answer the question.
Team Italy.
Team Italy is correct. Team Italy is
What gave it away? You got to start asking the questions before.
I know. That's right. I tried.
I'm blowing.
No, that's okay.
I talk too much.
No, it's good.
No, it's all good.
Well, at least you're not like Ron Jaworski. We had Ron Jaworski out. We were saying it, and you would be like, Italy.
No.
It was awesome.
Good old Jaws.
It was awesome. All right. So what was the good experiences that you did have though throughout the Team Italy, and how did that come about? Like,
In the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
So in 2009, we were seated with Venezuela, USA, and Canada in Canada, and we 10-run Canada at the Rogers Center, and there was a lot of angry Canadians,
yeah.
about 80,000 of them. And so that was awesome. And then fast forward to 2013, we got to the second round. We beat Mexico and we beat Canada again. And then we lost in the second round. But that was pretty awesome, especially for, Italy. They were they're not known for baseball.
Mhm.
And the group they put together, they had a bunch of guys like Nick Punto, Jason Greeley, and guys that have been playing in the big leagues, and made it attractive for other guys. And then you get hungry guys. In 2009, when I was with the Orioles, I was trying to get to the big league club, so I thought that would be a good stage.
Right.
And they did a really good job of recruiting and putting guys where and placing them. But now they're last World Baseball Classic, they did really well again. They got to the second round. So the competition's just getting absurd. Though.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be tough to beat any team like United States roster is absurd. Dominicans I saw was also absurd. So they're all getting good. Everybody wants to play in it because they watch it and they see 80,000 fans, and you have a World Series environment, playoff environment in March.
In March, right,
Which
exactly.
was awesome. And I think it gets you ready for the season even better in difficult situations. So.
Exactly.
Lauren, what do you got?
The Mattis Minute.
Uh-oh. Are you ready?
So these questions are designed.
He's nervous.
These questions are designed
Carl's
like
face.
one-word answers.
Yes.
But if you have a good story, obviously tell it, but
Okay.
otherwise one-word answers. All right, your favorite Phillies player, either current, on the current team or former?
Favorite Phillies player currently?
All time.
Oh, all time.
But it could be-
Mike Schmidt.
Who was your favorite teammate when you were playing?
Corky Miller.
Do you have a favorite?
That's his name.
That's got to have a story.
Yeah, he was the catcher in Louisville when I played with the Reds.
Do you have a favorite non-Philadelphia team?
Team Italy, baseball.
There you go. Good answer.
What's your favorite place to get coffee? Dunkin', Starbucks, or Wawa?
Wawa. Playing to the crowd.
Jalen Hurts, thumbs up or thumbs down?
2 thumbs up.
There you go.
Nice. Would you consider yourself a good cook?
Hell no.
What Philadelphia team is the next one to win a championship?
Eagles. What?
He's a Cowboy fan. He's a Cowboy fan.
He's no longer allowed to ask questions.
And if
It
the
wasn't
Phillies-
Team Italy now.
Please get him out.
And if the Phillies hadn't drafted you, is there another team you hope to win?
Probably the Reds. Cincinnati Reds. I liked Pete Rose.
There you go.
That'll bring another question up.
One more question. Did you collect baseball cards as a kid?
Yes.
What was your favorite card?
Ken Griffey Jr. Anything Ken Griffey Jr.
Very
There
good.
you go.
Very
Still
good.
got him.
Give it up for the Mattis Minute.
Yep.
It's a new segment. We're
like
we're,
that.
we're working on it.
One word. I like that.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're getting it right.
That was new.
Nick, we've been
We've been doing it.
floating it out there. Not every week, but
It started
you know.
with the Watson brothers. We had them both together. So Bill threw out a bunch of questions about,
I like
about 4 shows
A little
ago.
rapid.
Yeah.
yes,
I like it.
exactly.
All right. So let's do another trivia so we can get into it.
Well, we've answered just about every
No,
one.
we haven't. No, we haven't. No, we haven't. All right. So who did Mike get his first major league hit off of?
Oof.
First major league hit.
Can I give a hint?
Sure.
He played for the Yankees. Yes.
There you go.
That was someone. This guy knows more than me.
He's got his phone in his pocket.
I don't think he's cheating.
He read it earlier.
he studied.
He studied earlier. But so how was that experience being in New York Yankee Stadium and then Derek Jeter got the ball for you?
Yeah.
You know,
That was a really cool experience. Hit a single left field, they threw it in just like a normal hit the cutoff man, and Derek Jeter got the ball, turned around, called timeout, and threw it to A-Rod, and A-Rod threw it in the dugout. And I always I watched The Captain, the documentary about Jeter. Guy's just a class act, did everything right. And the fact that he knew, oh, thanks. He's a man. My old neighbor. When I was 8.
Carl needs another.
Carl's thirsty. No. Thanks, Mike. Just the fact that he knew.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And then I got on second base and I was messing with him. I said, 3,182 more, I got you. And he laughed and that was it. So that was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
Do you still have the ball?
I gave it to my dad. Yeah, he still
Nice.
has it, yeah.
Very cool.
It's pretty cool. I got my first at bat in RBI on Mother's Day with my mom's name on the pink bat. Gave that to her, and then he has the first hit, and my son has a hat that I wore the first hat. So pretty cool.
Is he a ball player?
He does not like baseball. He likes football and basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't like baseball.
Do you think that might change now that your love came back
I
a
don't
little bit?
think so.
No?
No. So he loved being at the World Series game.
Right. Yeah, so maybe that may have changed.
Cotton candy,
Right.
right? Chickens and Pete's.
Being a kid.
Yep.
Being a kid.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. So
Very cool. Very
he likes
cool.
football and basketball. So
All right, and then another interesting little trivia question, which ties back to Philadelphia a lot. You know, your whole career has Philadelphia ties. Which former Philly did Mike replace in his major league debut?
oh, that's a great question.
Well, thank you.
I'll give a hint. The name has not come up tonight at
At
all.
all.
At all.
Michelle used to do this as well, like romance.
He is, but he has the wrong answer anyway. So
Yeah, he's,
They're already.
yeah, what is it? I said it wasn't.
No,
We
no.
did not float the name out there tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I know,
He was,
I know.
he was a former Philly and played for the Reds when I replaced him. If
Look, everybody scramble for the phones.
and
No,
but David Bell was my manager in AAA when I got called up, which was pretty cool.
Very cool. Got you stumped.
Very, very same position. He was
Great
right
question.
before
Baseball heaven.
David Bell, and he's not very liked in the city of Philadelphia.
Chaperone.
Yes,
There you go. There you go, Shawnee.
too many clues.
So now, he was probably just right before you, right? A little bit with 96 being his time, and you were, you know, with you in 07, 06, you know.
Yeah.
So how was you had ties with him at all?
Yeah, when I got to Cincinnati, he was actually awesome. He's a great teammate. He got a bad rap here,
Yeah, he did.
obviously.
Mhm. Kurt Schoen, by the way, was here.
Yeah, which is not good for anybody. And yeah, he was awesome, and knew my story in Philly, and grew up watching him being a third baseman. I was a third baseman in high school and college, and so he was a good dude.
Yeah, he was a guy I hated to see leave. You know.
That was a tough bill as well when he left.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking Scott Rowland, so the name Larry Boa has to come up. Has to come up, right? You got a Larry Boa story for us?
Yeah, but I can't repeat it. No, he's awesome. He's still hands-on the field, throwing back.
Batting practice,
Yeah. So he's the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps going and going. He's an awesome baseball mind. It's awesome that the Phillies keep him around. He's great with young guys. When I was coming up, John Vukovic was around,
Mm-hmm.
and he was amazing, just an amazing human. And Larry kind of is doing what he did with the younger guys. I know the success of Stout and the younger guys. He has a little bit to do with it, so he needs some credit.
Oh yeah, no, well, Larry's
He's
definitely-
well recognized. I mean, I think that's part of, the whole organization and keeping, what's
Philly's
left.
doing a great job of bringing guys back,
Yes.
like Dickie Knowles, Greg Lazinski, all those guys. Schmidt's part of the broadcast team, and
Getting
Mickey
Charlie around.
Mordini, Charlie, like everybody's at all the games. So I think that's really cool, and kind of like what you get when you play here.
Yep.
You get the booze, but it's also the best place to play. And
Well,
all of the land.
You brought it up. Let's talk about it a little bit because, we've seen, a couple of the guys on the current team that kind of, look into the stands as they walk back to the dugout.
Naturally.
What's as a player, what's going through your head? I mean, walk us through that a little bit.
Well, it's a roller coaster. You strike out and then you get a hit and you're loved. But that comes with the territory when you're on that field making that money and playing. The thing, like strikeouts happen, good hits happen.
Right.
It's all the whole thing about Philly is they want to see you care and embrace the city and embrace the people, and that's what you get. You go to a stadium, that's not real life. Watch it on TV, watch another sporting event, any other cities, watch the World Series last year, it's nothing like that. And that 46,026, right? That's the shirt they wore.
Yeah.
It's really unbelievable.
Exactly.
Very cool. What do we got? Any unfinished business?
No, so we got another trivia that'll lead into another story here.
Here we go. Listen up.
All right, so which team did Mike play for in the Cape Cod League?
Should we give them options?
No, because they're all looking them up. So it's okay.
Same city that chips are made, right in the outfield. Killed me. Kettle cooked salt and vinegar. Oh.
We got an answer back there, something that's.
Yes. You just Googled the picture. You Googled the picture.
He stuttered. He stuttered.
I got him.
Wait a minute. No, he didn't. No, I didn't.
And how about it, folks? He's a goddamn school teacher, too.
He's cheating in the back room.
Technology innovation.
And that's why I called you out.
So with the
It was Hyannis Mets.
Highness,
Yeah.
in 2004. So how was the? Have you ever seen the movie Summer Catch?
Of course.
Was that about you?
Kind of. Yeah.
Go into the not being. Well, you were a pitcher. You said in college, so
I couldn't wait to talk about this
I know.
all day.
I know.
All day.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. You have a job during the day and then you have to go play at night. I was a landscaper.
There you go.
That's serious. But Jessica Biel was not there.
Not there.
Couldn't find her.
Couldn't find her. But no, I mean it's.
I have her now. My fiance, but wasn't in the Cape Cod.
That wasn't the Cape Cod. But no, I mean like how accurate was that? I mean, obviously the movie, the love story and all that part was different, but
it's very accurate.
Right, with the
very, very accurate. It's funny because everybody goes up there and they saw the movie and try and emulate it, I guess, the best.
Right.
But it's very, very. There's a lot of truth to it.
Right, and then the best part was
very realistic.
That it was about the Phillies at the end and
I
beating them up dogs like you go into the Muff dogs
crazy.
and it was pretty funny how the
good old Freddie Prinze. That was a good movie.
Yeah, no, it was.
A little cheesy, but good.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I mean, but if you just listen to the baseball story, the part of it, and, you didn't sleep out on the field though, right? And had the
Not that he's going to tell us.
I didn't sleep out on the field.
But no, that was
the beach. Different story. It was a very, very fun summer.
Right.
Very fun.
As we wind this excellent conversation down, I need some help with these raffle prizes because talk it up, yeah. I need everybody to dig into their pockets. Come on, I want to give away all these items. We got a lot of Christmas coming up, and we want to take care of some needy kids. So
someone please get the lights out, there's one. I know he did. You put that first right there, so it's there.
It's like staring right at you.
Couldn't have put it over on the other side, huh? Carl.
All right, dig into your pockets. Let's go. Like I said, again, we're back here December 21st. We're bringing Santa Claus. We're bringing Mickey Morandini. We may have another surprise guest. Who knows? Got to dangle the carrot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So stick around, have a few more beers. We'll draw the raffle prizes around 8 o'clock. They're all gonna go home with somebody. So, like I said, we're working with a lot of needy kids this time of year. Last month, where's the mic at? Let's hand it over to Ann real quick. Give her a couple of minutes for Cradles for Crayon, because that's one of the organizations. I know, I caught you off guard.
Caught her off
Put her on
guard.
the spot.
Yep. Talk to us a little bit. How are things going? How did the event go?
Thanks. So last week when we were at Banquet, we were raising money for Cradles to Crowns. We just had our big event on Friday night, our gala virtual party, which includes an auction where we raised over $43,000 to help local kids in the area. So our mission is pretty simple at Cradles to Crowns. We're focused on providing everyday essentials to children ages 0 to 12 living in homelessness and poverty. So that includes school supplies, books, shoes, clothing, all sorts of things. So we're really so grateful for all the support that Carl gives to us, and we're lucky enough to have Lauren and Anthony at our event on Friday night as well.
Very good. Very good.
Good job, Ed. Excellent
Great
job.
That's an awesome cause.
Yeah, so like I said, we got a lot going on. I want to thank Mike for coming out. We've known Mike for a lot of years, and give us a quick story on what you got going on, because you're still local to the area. You got a business, so why don't you let everybody know what you're doing.
So I have two insurance agencies right in Springfield by Sproul Lanes. We do home, auto, and life insurance, and that's what we do. That's the plug. It's a Farmers and MetLife agency and group benefits.
There you go. So you guys are looking for insurance. He's your guy right over by Sproul Lanes. So like I said,
Or Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen. Well, it's not Sproul Lanes anymore?
No, it is, but Dairy Queen's right there,
Dairy
too.
Queen.
Dairy Queen's
Gotcha.
line's a lot longer.
Very good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate that.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Johnny, what do you got? Closing comments?
Well, just get a little feel what you think about the Eagles.
This last week?
Well, no, it was a little bit of a blip, but
Yeah.
they moved past that.
They,
As a year, I mean, the team's pretty stacked.
I'm a huge Eagles fan, so it was kind of heartbreaking. But I'd rather it happen now than figure it out. And again, I'm not a Monday morning quarterback. It's not the ref's fault.
No.
For one missed call. There was 12 opportunities they could have put the team away, and they didn't. And every once in a while, you need a wake-up call. You take 2 steps back, or 1 step back, 2 steps forward. So
Exactly.
they have a really, really, really good thing going on there. They're fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
They just need to stay healthy.
Yeah, the injuries are.
They're starting to, George Davis last week, and then now Dallas Goedert, and I saw Kelsey limping off. And
The Goddard one's going to hurt a little bit.
I got Kelsey's my favorite Philly athlete of all time. So
All time?
all time.
All time?
Yeah,
Wow.
sensational.
Yeah.
And he's younger than me. Is that crazy? No, that's old. I'm old. But they got a shot this year.
Oh, yeah. No, they definitely do.
Legit. Yeah.
Yep.
See how they bounce back, and that's how you
Yeah,
see the
tighten up the run
character of the
defense.
team. Yeah.
You tighten that up and you're good.
Last call for questions. Anybody? Questions, comments, anything? We all good?
Shawnee's got
We
one.
got one? Shawnee's got one?
Yeah, Mike, just real quick, after your retirement, do you have any interest in getting back into baseball, whether it's coaching or scouting?
Yeah. I see Mike laughing in the back. So I coached Carroll for 3 years. after I retired, and it was different. Catholic school, high school. I'm not built for baseball in that age group. Let's just put it that way. It's just a lot of like I help with recruiting and get involved in school and having to fulfill different things that they needed to do before like baseball wasn't the priority. And we had a good program for the 3 years, but I just left because it was time and just too much for me, and getting calls at 10 o'clock from parents and asking about recruiting and stuff like that. And just like kind of ruined the fun and not focused on like the whole development of the student athlete, right? So I loved it. I still go back to Carroll all the time, but I'm not into coaching. It's just a different breed now.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely.
You know what I
is.
mean?
Yeah. And like I
So-
said, you're shortly removed, but
It's extremely time consuming, and I would like to have 30 hours in a day if I could. And that consumed 28 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's for sure.
I give kudos to teachers, my man, IT guy,
Yeah,
and
he's an IT guy.
and coaches. I really do, because people don't realize, parents really don't realize how much time the coaches at a high school level put into their team, and I just didn't have the time that they needed me to do it. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
coming out. We're gonna hang out for a little bit. We'll draw the raffles, like I said, at 8 o'clock, so hang out. If you want to buy me a Miller Lite, I'm all in. Thank you. John, you good?
We're all good.
All right.
Yep.
See you back here December 21st.
Thanks for coming out, Mike.
Thank you. That was awesome.